3, 2, 1. Let the celebration begin in Seattle. It is over. The Seattle Supersonics have won the NBA World Championship Series.
Seattle, the home of Boeing, was on cloud 9 in 1979. Just 13 years after the franchise was created, the Supersonics claimed their first championship, crushing the Washington Bullets. The Pacific Northwest, a region known for its breathtaking landscapes, had been blessed in the late 70s. In 1977 and 1979, neighboring Portland and Seattle ascended the NBA Olympus. A year after their championship, the Seattle Supersonics were demolished by the Los Angeles Lakers. It was the end of their golden era. As the 1980s began, Magic Johnson's Lakers dominated the West Coast spotlight. The Sonics alternated between disappointing seasons and early playoff exits. In 1989, the team from Washington State was once again trounced by the Lakers in the playoffs. It was time to focus on the draft, where the Sonics held back-to-back 16th and 17th picks. Seattle played it safe with their first pick, selecting Dana Barros, a proven scorer with 4 years of collegiate experience, ready to step in as the team's floor general. But their 17th pick was a gamble. A highly talented yet enigmatic power forward named Shawn Kemp.
Being from Indiana, you're basically going to get a basketball pretty much when you're born. So, I mean, it's part of every kid's life growing up, because the expectations there is for the kid to be a next, junior high star.
Born in Indiana, the land of Larry Bird, Shawn Kemp was destined for basketball greatness from an early age. Dreaming big was one thing, achieving those dreams was another. By the age of 12, Kemp was already dunking, becoming a regional sensation. One of the most athletic players in basketball history, Kemp ended his high school career as a national standout.
Shawn Kemp wears size 16 shoes and's got a 42-inch sleeve length. Inside to Kemp, great head fake. It's showtime.
Conquered it terribly quick. Oh, what a slam!
Look at that talent. Rebound, handle the rock. Look at him handle it. Look at this kid. Are you serious? Are you for real? That's a super.
A decade after Larry Bird's college finals loss to Magic Johnson, Indiana was eager to see Kemp bring glory back to the state. Everything seemed perfect until it wasn't. Kemp chose to attend the University of Kentucky, a decision that caused such an uproar that a much quieter Woody Austin was named Indiana's Player of the Year instead. But trouble followed. Kemp failed his college entry exam, rendering him ineligible to play under NCAA rules. Kentucky coach Eddie Sutton recalled, "Having Shawn at the university without basketball, the only thing he loves, was a huge mistake. I even considered advising him to go straight to the NBA, but few had done it before him."
My freshman year, I wasn't eligible to play because I was a Proposition 48. I had played basketball for so long and didn't have something taken away from me. You don't know which way you're going to go, and it was tough.
While the situation is the opposite today, having a long college career was the norm at the time. Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, all of them had at least 3 seasons in college. In 1989, only 2 players had jumped straight to the NBA from high school: the obscure Bill Willoughby and the solid but unremarkable Darryl Dawkins.
With the 17th pick in the 1989 NBA draft, the Seattle Supersonics select Shawn Kemp from Trinity Valley, Texas Junior College.
I was drafted like 10 seconds later. They called me, and the only thing I hear in the background are boos. I'm like, oh my.
Shawn Kemp left high school, has not played in an official basketball game.
I watched the All-Star game, and I knew that I could play in the NBA. I had 99 no's and 1 yes. I was the only yes.
In an era when college experience was the norm, Shawn Kemp broke all the rules. Without playing college ball, he entered the NBA draft with a mix of raw talent and question marks. Despite his monstrous athleticism, Kemp's lack of fundamentals showed early on. He often seemed lost on the court, a player searching for his rhythm. Perhaps all he needed was the right conductor.
Gary was actually in college when I first got to start watching him. He was in college. I was a rookie. We were about a 50-50 ball club, and we were thinking that we needed some new leadership as far as a point guard, and maybe since I was having a halfway decent seasons, maybe somebody who could come in and keep up speed with myself. When Bob Whistler that came to me and said, watch this basketball game on Saturday afternoon, all I could see was Gary, but he was yelling at somebody on the bench. Somebody at the bench had said something to him, and I was just like, yo, this is the type of player we need.
With the second pick in the 1990 NBA draft, the Seattle Supersonics select Gary Payton from Oregon State.
I thought that I help Seattle out. I think they needed a leader, and I'm glad they took him.
I started watching him, and then I started doing research on him of how his life was, where he was coming from, and all that stuff. And it was just one of them things, and I was like, I got to play with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll bring the intensity that he brings like I do. If me and him get together, I think we'll be a great duo.
Side front of Gary Payton, lead pass, Kemp. Kemp releasing down court, but Payton didn't see him. There he does. Now he does. Here's a 3-on-2. Kemp picks Mark Jackson, gets the give and go.
My mindset, man, was just like, if I could just dunk on any and everybody. It didn't matter. 5 feet away, 3 feet away, double pump reverse, double windmill, anything possible.
Some of the plays that Gary and Shawn have made have been unbelievable. Gary's a great deliverer of the ball, and Shawn has a great area where you can throw it. You can throw it here, and he still slams it.
All over that rebound like a bad suit. Out of backcourt, he comes out of the blocks on fire. Raging right-handed tomahawk jam from the Rainman.
Enter Gary Payton. The Payton-Kemp duo thrilled basketball fans with electrifying plays that contrasted with the structured precision of Stockton and Malone. With Kemp's otherworldly athleticism, Payton admitted to throwing impossible lobs just to challenge his partner. Kemp was among the first players to earn more money off the court than on it. His powerful dunks and alpha demeanor made him an icon. The Rainman was born.
Some people around here wanted to call me Reindeer, and I was just like, no, that ain't Kevin Calabro. He called back and it was like, what do you think about the Rainman? And at first I was like, no, I'm thinking about it. And it was like, not R-A-I-N, but R-E-I-G. And then I was like, okay, yeah, wait, I like it.
Look out below! Oh, get up and lay it home with 2 hands, Rainman.
Well, I think, once you dunk it, that gets you fired up. And not only gets you fired up, but it gets the team fired up. And especially if you're playing here in Seattle, it gets the fans fired up. And I think we need that kind of, excitement for us to be successful.
Way to go, Rain Boy.
Yo, that's Rainman. Basketball is an expression sport, and I think it can be very intimidating also. You can intimidate a person by 2 ways, by talking to them or just going at them. The dunk is a powerful thing. It can change the game around. It can quiet the crowd, and also it can put a team on shock because there was so many times when we caught lobs and I got a big dunk where the team actually just stopped playing.
By the early 90s, the Payton-Kemp-led Sonics were among the league's elite. In 1992, they faced regional rivals, the Golden State Warriors. The Rising Sonics were then coached by George Karl. A few years earlier, Karl had a stint with the Warriors, only to be fired unceremoniously. The Bay Area team had a peculiar 1992 season. Early on, the Warriors surprisingly broke up their famed Run TMC trio by trading Mitch Richmond to the Kings. Even so, the franchise still boasted a talented roster with Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway, all under the guidance of legendary coach Don Nelson. But this high-intensity playoff series would be defined by one player, Shawn Kemp.
Well, let's take a look at the inside attack now for the Sonics. It's something that Golden State's obviously very concerned about. Shawn Kemp has had some just dramatic games against the Golden State Warriors. How do you stop a Shawn Kemp inside if you're Golden State? It's notoriously not known to be a good rebounding team, but they don't have a lot of bulk up front either.
The only way they're going to stop him is to double and triple team him when he gets the ball down low, and even that is not always that effective with Shawn.
The analysts were spot on. Game 1 was dominated by an ultra-impressive Kemp, who excelled on both ends of the floor. Don and Nelson decided to change tactics, assigning a bench player to shadow Kemp, a certain Alton Lister. Drafted late in the 1981 draft, Lister, a former Sonic, was a virtual unknown to the average fan by the early 90s. That season, the center had played just 23 games, averaging a meager 3 points. Yet with his 7-foot frame and athleticism, Nelson chose Lister to be Kemp's primary defender. Surprisingly, this strategy worked. Kemp was harassed and limited in Game 2, and the tension reached its peak.
We've done a very good job on Shawn Kemp here in this ballgame. 28 in the first half. There we go. We're getting into it now. That's not a smart play. No, Kemp is down. Bodies all over the place. George Karl running out on the court. And now people are going to get thrown out of the game.
Kemp won. Lister won. The Warriors convincingly won Game 2, and Alton Lister was having the most memorable moment of his career. But little did he know that he had just awakened the beast in Shawn Kemp. At the end of Game 3, the Sonics power forward hit a free throw to tie the game. But the show wasn't over.
Up to Gary Payton. Lead pass to Kemp. He'll play it down. What a lob! Wow! Gary Payton with a lob ahead to Kemp. He wins.
The Sonics now led the series 2-1. One more win would seal the deal. For this critical Game 4, Nelson once again tasked Lister with guarding the Rainman. Late in the first half, Shawn Kemp received a pass from Ricky Pierce. The time for revenge against Lister had come, and the world was about to witness history.
Get it, fires it cross court, Kemp's got it right up into the alley. Power slam! Tomahawk slam! Yeah, baby! Into Lister to go second period. That's what a slam will do for you. Listen to that crowd. Sonics to Lister's face, and the Sonics take the lead. 48-47. Going to the hoop. Wow! Now that is attacking the basket.
It was the night of April 30th, 1992, and history was made. The legend of the Lister Blister was born. Shawn Kemp's ferocious dunk, unmatched in power and violence, instantly left an indelible mark. To top it off, Kemp had the audacity to point at a stunned Lister sprawled on the ground. But the magic of that night didn't end there. Moments after the Lister Blister, Kemp annihilated Chris Gatling. In utter disbelief, Gatling could do nothing but shake the hand of his executioner. The once unknown Alton Lister became forever etched in history as the victim of one of the most brutal dunks of all time. In hindsight, it taught him a valuable lesson: never poke the bear, Shawn Kemp. But wait a minute. In reality, this was all a terrible misunderstanding. Rewinding the footage, it becomes clear that Lister never fouled Kemp in Game 5. It was actually Tim Hardaway. A remorseful Shawn Kemp later admitted his mistake. I feel a little bad because the dunk should have been on Tim Hardaway. I thought it was Alton who grabbed me, but it was actually Hardaway. Alton, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry. That dunk should have been on Tim Hardaway, not you. I unleashed all my frustration in that moment. I'd been waiting for it since the start of the game. But the damage was done, and Alton Lister's name would forever be tied to that dunk. Kemp recalled, Alton's wife came up to me and said it was a contract year for him. These were the playoffs. He had played with you guys in Seattle the year before. Why would you do that to him during a contract year?
Alton Lister was on the Seattle Supersonics the year before I got there. I got a lot of respect for him. He just went with the wrong team, that's all.
The Supersonics eventually eliminated the Warriors and continued their ascent. The Payton-Kemp duo peaked in 1996, reaching the NBA Finals but losing to the decade's nemesis, Michael Jordan.
It don't mean a thing without the ring. And the Bulls had run up this glorious all-time regular season record, and so they had hats made up. Don't mean a thing without the ring. The Sonics presented a challenge, but ultimately they really weren't able to fully contend with those Bulls that were driven by Michael Jordan's anger.
This week, Shawn Kemp publicly addressed the issue of his chronic lateness and irresponsibility.
Gary Payton called a players-only meeting and asked Shawn Kemp to tell the team what was going on in his life. And at that meeting, say sources, he admitted to the team that he was having difficulty with drinking.
Sadly, Shawn Kemp's career didn't end as brilliantly as it began. Shuffled between teams, the power forward struggled with alcoholism and obesity. He never won an NBA title, any major individual awards, or gained entry into the Hall of Fame. And yet, a true symbol of the 90s, Kemp was a dream and highlight machine who deserves to be celebrated. The name Shawn Kemp has endured in memory far more than those of many more accomplished players. Unfortunately for poor Alton Lister, it was on his head that Shawn Kemp decided to write his legend in 1992.